Hell no. That was a crazy storm yesterday. I'm meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. If you lived in York County, you got blasted by what is called a supercell, and supercells, 100% of them will produce some sort of large hail. And what you're seeing over here is one picture that I received from Mary Rose right around the Rock Hill area. And I remember I tweeted and Facebooked this out, I would say probably about 3:30, and I was like, wow. This is a crazy signature. So the signature was technically a TVS. So that's really just meaning it's a tornado type signature, picking up that it's a supercell. I want to start off by saying this was not a tornado. There was no tornadoes involved. Any of the wind damage we saw was likely a microburst. And the amount of hail reports that's coming out of here is astronomical. And the hail track went on for miles. That's also typical of a supercell. They're very long track storms. And there's going to be a lot of calls today, such as Chris just said, give Gutter Guys Incorporated a call. And they are, Chris, you're probably going to be very busy. And also the amount of windshield damage I've seen, siding has been damaged. A lot of reporting here where hail is kind of swept under the rug per se as far as the severity that it can cause, but this was a classic example of what a true hail core can do. There's a lot of cars that literally are peppered with dents because of how strong everything was. So what you're looking at right here was an example of what Mary Rose held in her hand from this storm. And this is a loop from what happened from about 3 o'clock to 4:30. And what's in a hand, I don't have an actual ruler for this, but that's at least golf ball size hail to around what's called egg size hail, up to 2 inches in diameter. And this was a major system that didn't just go on for a couple hours, went on for several hours. And that's why we're just seeing those widespread reports. Check it out. Here's from 3 to 4 to 5 o'clock, where it impacted Lancaster County over into Chesterfield County, and this hail track just went on for miles. Now, the worst of it definitely was through the Rock Hill area in York County, and hopefully some of you had your car in your garage. If you have a garage, if you don't, like myself, you're kind of fill in the blank out of luck. Because look at all the reports that we saw. Notice how clustered they are right around Rock Hill. That's where the storm really hit its maximum. That's where it was at its strongest potential. And then you really need for all this to come together. One, a rotating thunderstorm kind of corkscrews up the extra energy in the upper atmosphere. That allows for little extra oomph as far as the drive up, which drives that moisture up, where you see a lot more hail condensing and melting, and we'll get to the formation of hail here shortly. But check out this one report. I wanted to bring this up. Public reported softball hail near the intersection of Highway 901. That is crazy. Now, I think most of the hail was about an inch and a half to 2.5 inches. So that's about ping pong ball size hail to just shy of baseball size hail. So this is kind of an anomaly here. So I'm saying that this might be overestimated because these are only certain hail reports, but up to baseball size hail, I think that that's very believable in a lot of aspects. And Joy Mott, good morning to you, by the way. Any comment that you say, if I see it live time, I'm going to call you out in a good way, saying hello, like Joy Mott, and hello to you, Chris. Going to be busy fixing gutters, perchance, across the area. Once the storm got to Lancaster County, you're seeing here, there was a report of about quarter size hail, and we'll get to the different sizes of hail in here one moment. And then also we saw in some other reports deeper in the Lancaster County that it was up to hen egg size hail. That one's this right here. Spotter relay 2-inch hail reported via Twitter, lasted about 10 minutes. So this wasn't just a quick hailing event. Oftentimes you can have pea size hail for a brief period. It went on for up to 10 minutes. That just solidifies the damage, where it's not all created equal, that any hailstorm is going to kind of vary, that you could have up to, say, penny size hail, but then also embedded in that could be quarter other size American currency up to ping pong ball size hail. So they can waver up to an inch in diameter or greater, or vary by about a half inch. I also want to give a quick shout out to Drew King. This is my favorite photo that we're looking at. This is from Waxhaw. So likely what this was looking at is down to the south and southeast. For one, the amount of lightning that came with the system, you might have noticed, if you have a really good memory, that when I was showing that loop of everything, there was a bunch of positive symbols that popped up. Those are positive lightning strikes, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. that it's always going to be the positive ones that go from the very top of the thunderstorm. They're 10 times stronger, last 10 times longer, and these are also the most deadly ones as well. So, but again, big shout out to Drew King, and you actually can see the rain coming down with this, and that's likely the hail core that came from the system as well. Again, it was how we concluded the afternoon, heading into the evening. Also, Auto Glass Now has an availability over the next few days for windshield replacements. So this is kind of turning into an advertisement as people are throwing stuff in there. But hey, you can't blame them, right? So whenever we talk about hail, we compare it to the sizes of different things. So whenever we're talking about quarter size hail, that is about an inch in diameter. Walnut size hail is an inch and a half. It's about ping pong ball size hail. When this severe thunderstorm warning was chimed, it was degreed as a ping pong ball size hail or greater. So that'd be about an inch and a half. Golf ball size hail, check, that happened. Hen size hail, that happened. Baseball size is 2.75 inches of diameter. So even though we did have that one report that was showing softball size hail, that one's tough to believe. Only just because of that's so different from all the other ones. Maybe if you had some picture evident it, but I am for sure going to confirm that hen to, dare I even say, tennis ball size hail, 2.5 inches of diameter, did happen. Say if under the hail we got, it's huge. That was from Hope Craig or Craig Hope. Rolled through Dallas, North Carolina. It was wicked looking storm. Oh, dude, absolutely, Doris. This thing was a monster. Let me see. Manny Stallings, I have hail in my backyard. Yeah, mainly ping pong ball size hail in my yard 2 hours later. See, that's the crazy thing. So Mandy wrote this in. Oh, let's focus in on this comment. That mainly ping pong ball size hail, but it was still in the yard 2 hours later. So since temperatures were still warm, above average, it stayed in the yard much longer. Now, if this was a summertime storm, which by the way, these don't happen in summer as much because we're too warm, this is the prime time for hail for us because it was just cold enough in the upper levels for it to last longer in the storm, but it also lasted longer at the ground. Rachel saying we got hammered in downtown Rock Hill. Like Rock Hill, you couldn't have had a better setup or a worse setup, how you want to look at it, as far as everything coming together for it to be the worst around the most populated area in York County. It was insane. And yeah, and Mandy Stallings just confirming, like, yeah, we did. The fact that it lasted that long. And other reports that we're seeing, I've seen a lot of that golf ball size hail. And I want to show this next graphic. This is a really cool study that was sent to me by actually Brittany from a story that she did, and waiting for it to load, where they went through and they tested all the diameters of hail. Hold on, just because I want to save face here. Want to see exactly where this report came from. So hold on, just bear with me, be patient. Let me see. Brittany, I'm searching my email because I want to give credit where credit is due. Hail. Let's see. There it is. Hail spreadsheet. So this is the hail versus terminal velocity. Where's the credit here? Standard textile. Just bear with me for a second. I was like, oh, I actually didn't see where this was from. Let me see, Brittany Hale. Blah, 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 blah. Well, the IBHS south of Charlotte. So they have a hail demo. So this is actually a place where they test hail on how it affects different structures and things like that. So sorry for that brief moment. I just had to give credit where credit was due. But we're about to see this. So this is that hail chart. Where is it happening? Erica, who's also on the side things, make sure that everything is, it should be showing a different graph. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. We're back on track. So from the IBHS, they sent us this report that shows how hail falls at different speeds, just depending on the size. So pea-size hail falls at 20 to 25 miles per hour. Quarter-size hail, 45 to 50. Golf ball size hail at 60 to 65. So you might be looking, no, that's not a big difference, but it is. Whenever we talk about wind speed exponentially increases the damage as it goes up linearly. So in sight, a category 1 hurricane can cause double the damage for what we had for, say, a tropical storm. But a category 2 hurricane can cause up to 2 to 4 times the damage as a category 1, just because the wind speeds may have only gone up by 20 to 30 miles per hour. But just in that range, the damage so much more can be done. And the same thing goes about the terminal velocity of some of these hail cores. So a golf ball size hail at 60 to 65, how fast that falls, that is much more likely to damage your car and ding it and affect the siding compared to 40 to 45. It can still happen, but you really start to see the severe damage once it gets up to golf ball size and baseball size hail up to 80 miles per hour. Truly, if that hits the right spot ahead, it can kill you. And it doesn't happen often, but since 2000, we've had about 20 hail deaths across the United States. So that's just astronomical. So that means that the hail yesterday was falling anywhere from 45 to likely 70 miles per hour. That is just mind-boggling. And again, sorry for the delay that it took me talking about the different hail speeds. I just get IBHS out of South Carolina. They do a lot of really cool research, including firing physical ice balls at different siding to see how much it holds up. All right, so moving on to the next thing. Sorry, I'm having some graphic problems. I want to talk a little bit more about how hail forms. Let's talk about the science here. It's all about way up in the atmosphere. So when I'm talking about how high a storm goes, it's all about the freezing line. So a freezing line is physically a line that is the difference between freezing and sub-freezing temperatures. This happens way up in the atmosphere. So of course we have that rising moisture. This is what causes rain in generality. But you have that water droplet that starts to lift up. Once it lifts above that freezing line, it of course is going to freeze. Exactly. But it's going to continue to go up and down, up and down, up and down, as you can see here. And as it gains more water, once it starts to melt, it'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. And the stronger the thunderstorm is, the stronger the updraft, the larger the hailstone's going to get. So you think about the inverse, that baseball size hail with wind speeds or the falling velocity over 70 miles per hour, you have to have an updraft at least up to 70 miles per hour to support that and even greater. So really, realistically, any updraft over 80 miles per hour, driving force in the storm is going to make it quickly grow. And that's why you easily get up that golf ball to even egg size hail. So eventually, once it gets too heavy, it's just going to drop rapidly below that freezing line. So this is exactly what happened. Mandy also said the siding looks like someone punched holes in it. Siding, cars, windshields, even plants. I feel really bad for anyone that planted maybe a new garden. I have a lot of hostas around my house. Hostas get shredded like paper whenever this happens. But what's really interesting is next time you get a big hailstone, physically cut it in half, because the hail that I was seeing yesterday, I really wish I could get my hands on it, because it's just like the rings of a tree that you can actually see the lifespan of a hailstone, because it's gaining different types of water that have either like more clarity or different debris particles that you can physically see the concentric rings what's in it. So really cool to see that hail. Not cool for people like Mandy that are now likely filing some insurance claims because of the damage to their house and their cars. So just a big shout out to everyone in York County, especially. I can also say Lancaster and Chesterfield County. So sorry that this happened to you. And what's also a really big point that I want to make about this event specifically is that Friday we had, per the Storm Prediction Center, a low risk for severe storms. You just had the right setup yesterday, and it turned out to be one of the strongest storms that we've had all year round. So now we're heading to the point that if everything comes together, you can have kind of these surprise storms. We were calling for thunderstorms, don't get me wrong, but the ones that exceed expectations. So this is the true definition of severe weather season, that any given storm has the chance, under the right ingredients, to really do a lot of damage. Rachel, I'm very fortunate that my car is old. Everything is still intact. 2000 Maxima. Woo! Hey, I will admit, my car was nice at one point. It is no longer nice. It makes noises that it probably shouldn't. But during these events, if my car were to get dinged up, it would not be the end all. So I totally understand that. Mine's 2009, but 2000 Maxima still going. Shout out there. Anything else want to mention about this hail event? this is really a case study. If you have any hail questions, I'm here for it. Because again, boy, was this an interesting study. Uh, uh, you don't really see these type of events all the time. We don't get golf ball size hail all the time. Which, by the way, I will end on this note. The record-breaking hailstone for both North and South Carolina was about the size of a grapefruit, or about the size of, for grapefruits and berry, about the size of a compact disc. If anyone still uses those, I still love my Blu-ray, so I very much do. And that's 4.5 inches in diameter. So luckily, we were nowhere near that. Well, thanks a lot for joining me. I appreciate it. Hail is one of my favorite natural phenomenons that come from thunderstorms. I'm fascinated by it all. That's why I'm a meteorologist. But this hail event, wow! When I was watching it from home, I just couldn't believe what was unraveling. So again, I'm really sorry to all those Rachel, Mandy, Lauren that were impacted by this. Hope, Craig Hope. Not sure what order that is. And shout out to Chris and Forrest, who also wrote in early, who are probably going to be very busy at their jobs trying to mend the damage. Again, thanks a lot. I'm meteorologist Chris Mulcahy. Make it a great day. But as you can see there on the screen, it's going to be a wet one. But I do have some hope that maybe we'll see a little bit of sunshine for maybe the last hour or two of the day. Take care, y'all.